Also, the Browns interviewed another one. Eagles offensive coordinator Brian Johnson in town today did, in fact, interview for the Browns offensive coordinator's position. As you can imagine, Quincy, plenty of people interested in this. Let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason for the first time today.
I just seen that Brian Johnson is one of our another candidates for the OC job. Studying his offense, I noticed that they run a lot of 2x2, so they'll have two wide receivers on one side, one wide receiver and a tight end on another side. They run it very, very heavily. The offense has potential to be explosive here, but in my honest opinion, I would go with Gerard Johnson because there is a connection with the West Coast system already, and also Gerard can adapt to Deshaun's skill set. Brian could do it as well, but there's just a lot of inconsistencies with the offensive system that he ran when he was with the Eagles. So I kind of feel more comfortable with Gerard than Brian. But yeah, go Browns.
Appreciate all the voicemails. Quincy, let's point out, if Bobby Slowick is still in the mix to get the Falcons job, if he gets that job, Gerard Johnson's going to be the offensive coordinator in Houston, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of ways that this could play out. Brian Johnson, Jared Johnson, they're both fine candidates, and I think we shouldn't be super focused on these guys' resumes as much as we're focused that they're at least like qualified to do what they're supposed to do, because we know so little about what a quarterback's coach for a specific team does throughout the year or what the offensive coordinator's responsibilities were this year in Philadelphia, right? So it's just one of those things where if they bring in somebody, I trust that the team understands and fills in the blanks for them. And I'm not going to get too invested in this name over that name. It's kind of like what we did with defensive coordinator last year, right? Where there were a bunch of names. Everybody had a bunch of different opinions on which name we should go get. And, you know, the name they ended up getting was Jim Schwartz. Some were happy with that, some weren't, but ended up being a good hire, right? I trust the process that they have in line. And I think that there's nothing that says that Gerard Johnson can't do some of the stuff that you saw Brian Johnson do, and there's nothing that says that Brian Johnson can't do some of the stuff that Gerard Johnson could do. It's all about the interview process and what they bring to the table because, you know, just like Drew Pexing, right? He was the quarterback's coach here. We didn't know what he was really capable of. Becomes the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. All of a sudden, we're like, oh, he runs a different offense. He has all these different things in there. Okay, like, you just have to trust the interview process because we have no idea what these guys are actually capable of.